Hello, General Hospital will reveal about Willow once walked away from Micheal with bitter betrayal and emotional devastation, but life has taken an unexpected turn, pushing her down a path where ambition and personal gain quietly eclipse whatever pride she had left. Despite having denied Micheal's love and dismissed all his sacrifices, she now finds herself slowly crawling back into his world, not out of regret, but out of calculated necessity. As her personal life becomes increasingly difficult, opportunities begin to fade, and her standing at the hospital becomes more uncertain, Willow comes to realize that only Micheal holds the power to lift her out of her struggles. His ties to the Corinthos family, the influence he commands, and the unwavering loyalty his family offers him present an irresistible picture, one she can no longer afford to ignore. Rather than confronting her past mistakes, Willow chooses to act as if nothing had ever broken between them, quietly returning to Micheal's side with softened glances and carefully crafted words. Deep down, she knows Micheal still loves her, and she exploits that devotion as a gateway back to comfort and control. The privileges she once lost are now within reach again if she can convincingly play the role of a remorseful wife. Her return isn't painted in love, but in the muted tones of someone willing to abandon self-respect to regain a foothold in a world where power, reputation, and influence matter more than truth. Willow would never allow Sasha to win, because for her, this has never just been about love, but about power, image, and pride. Beneath her soft-spoken demeanor and the quiet vulnerability she often shows to those around her, there exists a calculating instinct that refuses to be defeated, especially by someone like Sasha. The animosity between Willow and Sasha is nothing new, but it's poised to explode with renewed intensity once the truth about paternity and Micheal's emotional entanglement with Sasha comes to light. If Micheal is revealed to have a deeper connection with Sasha, be it through a child, shared grief, or a moment of emotional vulnerability, it will strike a nerve deep within Willow's psyche. It won't just be heartbreak. It will feel like public humiliation. And for someone who clings to control, to a sense of being the good one, this is unacceptable. Willow may initially display signs of hurt and betrayal when she learns of what happened between Micheal and Sasha, but she will not stay in that emotional space for long. Her survival instincts will kick in, and rather than shoulder any blame or truly process her role in the collapse of their marriage, she'll do what she knows best: redirect. Sasha will become the scapegoat. In Willow's mind, Sasha will be the temptress who preyed on Micheal during his most broken moments. She'll tell herself, and perhaps others, that Sasha manipulated the situation, inserting herself into Michael's life at a time when he was emotionally vulnerable and desperate for comfort. Even though viewers know the story is more nuanced, for Willow, nuance is irrelevant when pride and status are on the line. What makes Willow dangerous in this scenario is her ability to wear the mask of the wounded wife so convincingly. She can appear gentle, regretful, and loving, all while plotting every move with precision. She will re-enter Micheal's life not through confrontation, but through carefully timed interactions, subtle guilt-tripping, and emotional appeals. She'll remind him of their shared past, of the family they built, of the children who need them both. She will leverage the nostalgia, the heartbreak, and Micheal's tendency to be loyal to a fault. In doing so, she'll position herself as the only woman who truly understands him. But underneath all of this is the cold, undeniable truth: Willow cannot stand the idea of Sasha taking what she once had. Sasha being at Micheal's side, especially as he begins to heal and rebuild his life, is something Willow cannot stomach. In Willow's mind, Sasha is not just a threat to her marriage, she's a threat to her identity. Letting Sasha win would mean admitting defeat, admitting that she walked away and someone else stepped in and succeeded where she failed. It would mean losing her hold not only on Micheal but on her place in the Corinthos family, in the community, and even in her own narrative. Willow's potential return to Micheal won't be born out of forgiveness or a newfound appreciation for their love. It will be fueled by fear, pride, and a deep-seated need to reclaim what she views as hers. She won't allow Sasha to become the new matriarch, the new source of comfort, or the new love in Micheal's life. Every step Willow takes, every smile, every tear, every carefully chosen word, will be part of a larger campaign to restore her position and push Sasha out of the picture completely. In the end, this isn't just a love triangle. It's a silent war, a battle for control, legacy, and image. And Willow, ever the strategist beneath her soft surface, is preparing to win it at any cost. The dreamy bubble surrounding Drew Quartermaine was always destined to burst, it was only a matter of time. For Willow, who had once gazed at Drew with admiration and misplaced longing, the unraveling of his carefully curated image will be a devastating wake-up call. She had clung to the illusion of Drew as a noble, heroic figure, a man of principle who could offer her something different, something she thought she had been missing in her life with Micheal. But illusions, no matter how convincing, are not built to last. When the truth about Drew's intentions, his ego, and his manipulations comes crashing down, so too will Willow's fantasy. At first, Drew represented escape. An idealized version of life that offered freedom from the pressure and expectations she felt in her marriage. Micheal, with all his devotion and unwavering support, had become so dependable that Willow began to take him for granted. Their marriage, rooted in love but strained by unspoken secrets and emotional fatigue, began to feel too familiar, too safe. In Drew, Willow thought she saw excitement, independence, and emotional clarity. But what she failed to see was the deep undercurrent of ambition and self-interest that Drew kept hidden beneath his charm. When the cracks in Drew's armor finally reveal themselves, whether through betrayal, manipulation, or simple emotional neglect, Willow will be forced to confront the painful truth: she had abandoned the man who truly loved her for a mirage. The realization that Drew never saw her the way Micheal did, that he never valued her the way Micheal had, will leave her hollow. It won't be dramatic at first, it'll be quiet, a slow unraveling of belief as reality sets in. The pedestal she placed Drew on will crumble beneath the weight of his flaws, and with it, her belief that she had made the right choice in leaving Micheal. And that's when the guilt will hit her hardest. Because Micheal wasn't perfect, but he was steadfast. Yes, they had their problems, trust issues that simmered beneath the surface, secrets they both held under the guise of protecting one another. But Micheal never stopped loving her. He tried to give her the world, to create a home and a future that was stable, secure, and filled with compassion. He stood by her through every storm, and still, she walked away, blinded by the false glow of something she believed was better. She traded the real for the ideal, and now she's left with the consequences. Willow will begin to reflect on all the moments Micheal showed up for her, quiet gestures, acts of service, the way he always placed her happiness above his own. These memories will resurface like ghosts, haunting her in moments of loneliness and regret. And with each passing day, the chasm between what she had and what she chased will grow more painfully clear. Drew, now exposed for who he truly is, will no longer be the dream. He will become the symbol of Willow's greatest mistake. Faced with the wreckage of her choices, Willow will likely yearn to return to the man she once called her husband. Not because of pity or desperation, but because she will finally understand the depth of what she lost. The tragedy is that realization may come too late. Micheal, who once would have taken her back without question, may no longer be waiting. Or worse, he may be beginning to find happiness again, possibly with someone else. Still, Willow will try. She'll try to rebuild the broken bridge, to reclaim what was lost, to convince herself and Micheal that their love is worth salvaging. But no matter how sincere her efforts, the question will always linger: is love enough when trust has been shattered, when priorities have shifted, and when one heart has already started to move on? In the end, the collapse of her dreamy Drew fantasy won't just teach Willow a lesson about illusions. It will force her to confront the most painful truth of all, that sometimes, the greatest mistake we make is not in choosing the wrong person, but in walking away from the right one. Of course, as the illusion of her future with Drew begins to crumble, Willow will be forced to think beyond her own shattered expectations. In the aftermath of emotional disappointment and disillusionment, the faces that will haunt her most are not Drew's or even Michael's, but those of her children, Wiley and Amelia. The thought of what her choices have done to them, the damage to the sense of stability and security they once had, will weigh heavily on Willow's conscience. For a long time, she may have convinced herself that following her heart, or chasing what she believed was a better future with Drew, would eventually benefit her children as well. But as reality hits, she'll realize that what she destroyed in pursuit of that dream was far more precious than she ever acknowledged. Wiley, who already experienced early turbulence in his young life, had finally begun to adjust to a family that felt whole, with Micheal and Willow as loving, consistent parents. Amelia, barely beginning her journey in this world, deserved a home that felt safe and stable. The realization that she disrupted that her decisions tore apart the very fabric of the family they had built, will strike a deep emotional chord in Willow. It's one thing to deal with personal heartbreak, it's another to see that heartbreak reflected in the eyes of your children. This guilt may very well become the driving force behind Willow's desire to reunite with Micheal. Not only out of remorse, but out of a renewed sense of responsibility. She may begin to believe that, for the sake of the children, she has to make things right again. The home they once shared, the memories they once built, may begin to feel like something she desperately needs to restore. She'll reflect on the dinners together, the bedtime stories, the simple mornings where they functioned as a unit. All of that was sacrificed, and for what? A fantasy that fell apart the moment the truth about Drew was exposed. However, things might not be so simple. Complications could arise if Sasha, now possibly entangled in her own evolving connection with Micheal, decides to acknowledge him as the true father of her child. That revelation alone could shift everything. It would not only place Micheal in a position of responsibility and emotional attachment to another child but also bring Sasha and Micheal closer in ways Willow hadn't anticipated. Watching Micheal step up as a father to Sasha's baby might provoke something sharp and defensive in Willow. It could ignite both regret and determination. She may feel as though she's slowly losing her place, not just as Michael's wife, but as the mother of the only family he's ever truly built. Faced with this looming threat, Willow could decide that enough is enough. She may channel her guilt into action, resolving to repair the broken pieces of her marriage. Whether her motives are pure or driven by competition and fear of replacement, her desire to fix what she broke will intensify. She'll begin to map out her approach carefully, subtle apologies, meaningful conversations, maybe even small, shared family moments designed to remind Micheal of what they once had. Whether Chad Duell returns to the role of Micheal or a new actor takes on the character, it is only a matter of time before Micheal resurfaces on screen. And when he does, the emotional terrain will be ripe for exploration. Will he be open to reconciliation? Or will he have begun to move on, building something new with someone else, perhaps Sasha? Either way, Willow will be watching, waiting, and possibly plotting her next move with care. Ultimately, Willow may reach a point where she openly admits to herself that she still wants to be Michael's wife, not just for the children, but because a part of her never stopped loving him. The comfort, the partnership, the deep-rooted history, they matter more now than they ever did when she had them. What she once took for granted has become the very thing she longs for most. And in time, she may begin to speak aloud the words she's been afraid to voice, that she wants her marriage back, her family whole, and her heart finally at peace. Whether she succeeds or not will depend on Micheal, the weight of her past actions, and whether fate, or forgiveness, will give her a second chance. But Willow wanting to return is one thing. Whether Micheal would ever take her back is an entirely different matter. The damage she caused with her choices, her betrayal, and her decision to walk away from their marriage in pursuit of something fleeting with Drew, left wounds that may never fully heal. While Willow might finally recognize what she gave up and desperately wish to restore the life she destroyed, the truth is, Micheal may no longer be willing, or even capable, of offering her that chance. In the time since their separation, Micheal has undergone his own transformation. The hurt he endured when Willow chose another man over him runs deep, especially considering all the ways he had tried to protect, love, and support her. He was the man who offered stability, who built a home with her, who helped raise Wiley and welcomed Amelia with open arms. Yet when things grew complicated, Willow didn't fight for what they had, she gave up on it. That loss didn't just shatter Michael's heart, it shook his entire foundation of trust. And trust, once broken, is rarely easily repaired. Now, with the possibility that Michael has a child with Sasha, a child born from a place of unexpected vulnerability but perhaps genuine connection, his priorities are shifting. Sasha, who stood by him during the storm, may represent something new and healing. The bond they're forming is no longer rooted in the past, but in a shared present. Their child could become the tie that binds them even more closely, creating a new family dynamic that doesn't include Willow. Even if Michael still cares for Willow on some level, because history and shared children can't simply be erased, it doesn't mean he'll ever want to rekindle their marriage. That door, in his heart, may already be closed. He may offer her kindness, understanding, and support for the sake of Wiley and Amelia, but that's where the line will be drawn. He'll co-parent with respect and compassion, but not with romantic affection. His focus will remain on providing a stable, loving environment for his children, making sure they never feel the ripple effects of their parents' broken relationship. Willow may plead, reflect, and try to rewrite the ending of their story, but Michael's silence, his steady commitment to the kids without giving in to the past, will speak louder than any words. He's not the same man who once waited for her to choose him. He's become someone who learned from his pain, someone who now understands that love alone isn't enough when respect and trust have been compromised. In the end, Willow may come to realize the most painful truth of all, that Michael will always be there for Wiley and Amelia, but not for her. What they had was real, but it's gone. And no amount of regret will ever bring it back. Stay tuned for the next chapters in this unfolding emotional saga, as General Hospital delves deeper into the consequences of love, betrayal, and redemption. Willow may have finally come to terms with the depth of her mistakes, realizing too late that she abandoned the one man who offered her unwavering support and stability. Her desire to reunite with Michael may grow stronger by the day, especially as she witnesses the bond he continues to nurture with their children, Wiley and Amelia. But wanting him back and being granted that second chance are two very different things. The road to forgiveness is long, and in Michael's case, perhaps unreachable. Meanwhile, Michael is no longer the same man Willow left behind. His world has shifted dramatically, especially now that he is potentially the father of Sasha's child. That revelation alone could change everything. Sasha, who has quietly been a source of comfort and understanding in the wake of Willow's absence, may now find herself standing beside Michael not just as a friend, but as a co-parent and perhaps something more. Their growing connection, strengthened by shared grief, resilience, and the arrival of new life, could lay the foundation for a powerful new relationship. While Willow tries to reclaim what she lost, she may have no choice but to watch as Michael begins to build a future without her. But the emotional ripples won't stop there. Wiley and Amelia are still at the center of this fractured family, and both Michael and Willow will be forced to navigate the complexities of co-parenting while managing unresolved feelings and new relationships. Michael, ever the protector, will prioritize the well-being of his children above all else, even if that means maintaining a polite distance from Willow. He will do everything in his power to ensure they feel loved, safe, and supported, but it may come at the cost of Willow's hopes for reconciliation. As the story continues to evolve, loyalties will be tested, hearts will be broken, and new truths will emerge. Don't miss the next episodes of General Hospital to see where these emotional twists will lead.